Right, I think we're up and running, guys. Give me a second here to check my signal and make sure that we're coming through okay. And then we're going to work on the Strixhaven Sport Mage Tower as a 5e PvP option. So checking my signal here now just to make sure that I'm coming through clearly, loud, etc. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, etc. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good. I'll drop that down there to get it out of the way. Grab the link here, bounce this over. We're going to do some fast social media posting here, and then we're going to get to work. Today, specifically, what we're going to be working on is the ban list of spells, powers, and feats that can't be used during a match of Mage Tower. So, and that's mostly defined as like things that just deal damage or eliminate people from being able to actually play the game. So those are, I'm trying to make that light as like the only restrictions that exist. So we'll see how successful that is. So I'm just going through my social media posts here real quick and just, you know, punching out there that I'm live. Give me a second here. Okay, this is all looking good so far. I'll just do a quick intro. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And I am creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I publish on the DMsGuild. I've been a DM since 1987. I've been a Magic the Gathering enthusiast since 1994, a freelance illustrator since 1999, and I've been creating content on the DMsGuild since 2018. The first thing that I published is the Color Mana Spell Point variant rules that replaces the Vancian spell casting and spell slot system of Dungeons & Dragons and replace it with the color magic paradigm and color mana spell points so that you can have a mana pool of different colors that coincide with your character's personality or identity, and to be able to cast magic by tapping and burning mana to cast spells. So we've been using that for the past 7 years. I ran a number of campaigns from level 1 to 20 with it, as well as some vignette campaigns. It's worked really well. I've got a lot of updates I want to do for 2024. But one of the major motives here is that I wanted to have a comprehensive system that all 14, with the Scion, all 14 character classes are utilizing mana as their primary resource for their character, and so that every character is accumulating a mana pool and using that to trigger character options and resource utility. So that led us to martial characters having a mana pool, kind of like monks and warlocks having a short rest mana pool, and then creating the power system, the martial powers document that we've been playtesting here and designing on stream for the past year. That creates a sort of an athlete opportunity in the Strixhaven campaign, where all characters, regardless of class, can go to Strixhaven to learn how to channel or manipulate the mana pool that they are growing and strengthening, instead of just being a school about spellcasting where barbarians have no reason to be there. By giving all 14 character classes a mana pool, now a barbarian has a reason to go to Strixhaven, because a barbarian also has a mana pool to channel fury through, and the Strixhaven school will help that barbarian learn how to wield that power more efficiently or more powerfully. And then you have the Mage Tower competition, which allows spellcasters and martial characters to compete, scoring points, which then evolves into it's kind of a neat little mini game that you can do as a PvP, where with the rules set on how to play the game and defining what spells, feats, and martial powers are allowed inside the game, there shouldn't need to be a DM to run those matches, though a DM can be there as a referee and to play NPCs that fill out the roster of a team if you're missing people. But if you have an even number of players, at least 4 people, then you can have a 2v2, and you could run 2v2 matches of Mage Tower with no DM. Everyone gets to play, and the structure of it, once we start playtesting, I'm hoping to find that we can finish a match in an hour. So that would be ideal, to be able to run a match in an hour, have a session where you're running multiple matches, or just do a pickup game during lunch or something like that to make it lighter and easier. So Without further ado, let me go ahead and finish up my intro here. If you think this stuff is cool, please do like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we're live in the future. A bunch of books I've already created on the DMsGuild are listed down here, including the Color Mana system that was already published for 2014. We're going to be updating a lot of this stuff for 2024, so if you think these design ideas are interesting or might want to get involved, stick around, like, subscribe, join my Discord channel down below, check out the books. And thanks a lot for being interested. So let's go ahead and see if I can fix my screen here real quick. My screen's acting wonky here. I'm just gonna do that, and then let's go to here. Here's the arena that we created, or the arena. 5-foot squares. It's 210 feet long and 125 feet wide. The range for the that's right. For those that are interested, the color mana spell point variant rules being updated for 2024. The basic class modifications and subclasses are here, along with all the rules for martial powers that we'll be getting into, looking at our ban list. And then specifically for the Strixhaven Mage Tower playtest rules, that's this document here. These are read-only documents. Once they get published on DMsGuild, of course, you'll be able to download a full preview just to read it for yourself. And God bless if you want to support. So I'm gonna drop these windows out of the way. I'm gonna peel this out as a separate window, so it's not in the way. Up here, so we have list of all the spells that exist in 2024. All the feats that exist in the 2024 Player's Handbook. We have our Mage Tower rules here with our list of banned feats, powers, and spells. And then we have the martial power system here in its entirety, along with the mana system. So let me go ahead and pull this free here. I think since more people are probably familiar with spell casting than anything else, I think we should start working on, we'll just start with, we'll work backwards forwards. We'll start with the list of spells. So basically what we're going to be doing is I'll start at 9th level, and I'm going to work my way to the front. And we're just basically going to go through all the spells that are in the Player's Handbook and choose which spells can't be used during a match of Mage Tower. So anyone that's got any questions, you're certainly welcome to ask. But I'm just going to kind of dive into it and get kicking. So Wish, we already know that Wish is cool. You could potentially wish to go back in time to rerun somebody taking a shot at a goal, for instance, or rewind to potentially try to change how you defend your goal from having a point scored against it. I guess if you wanted to chance never using Wish again, you could just wish that you had scored a point instead of not having scored a point. It could be a winning match. It's a 9th level spell, kind of dick move to do, but I think it's legal. It doesn't prevent anyone from actually playing the game, so I think that's fine. We're mostly looking for things that only deal damage, because we're not trying to kill each other in this competition. It's not that kind of an arena. We're playing a game. We're playing a sport. So there's got to be sport. Damaging each other is not the goal of the sport. So like Weird, for instance, we'll have to take a look at Weird. You try to create illusionary terrors in people's minds. Each creature you choice an area makes wisdom saving throw and fail does psychic damage and is frightened condition for the duration. On a successful save, a target takes half as much damage only. A frightened target must make a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns. On a failed save, it takes psychic damage. On a successful save, the spell ends on the target. So the way that we're working this is that you don't take any damage. Like you can't get killed, you can't be knocked unconscious, you can't actually hurt each other during the match. So because that would, you're hurting each other. That would be a foul. So instead of removing Weird as an option, it has a fear effect that would allow anyone that fails their saving throw, they won't take any damage, but they are frightened. So, and the frightened condition is going to, while you have the frightened condition, you experience the following effects. Ability checks and attacks are affected. You have disadvantages on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of fear is within line of sight, which is you. And then can't approach. You can't willingly move closer to a source of fear. So you can use fear on enemies to keep them from approaching the goal, to take shots at it, and if they can take a shot from where they're at anyway, they're going to be disadvantaged on an attack roll. So I think weird is a legal spell to use. So I'm not gonna ban it, but we just need to have the caveat. Let's just make sure that caveat's in here. It cannot damage mascots, athletes, and arenas. Damage from the mascot attacking the goal are used to depict the force blow. Spells, etc., that deal damage and other effects and cause conditions are allowed, but the damage is reduced to 0. That's the general premise where we want to come from. So if a spell has a use other than damaging, if it causes some sort of condition that we can see as benefiting us during a competition match, we'll keep it in for the time being until we define it further. Hey, Hornetico, it's good to see you, man. True Resurrection. I technically don't have a reason to ban True Resurrection. It doesn't have any real purpose, but I'm not going to deny it. True Polymorph. Choose one creature and magical object or non-magical object that you can see within range. The creature shapeshifts into a different creature or a non-magical object, or the object shapeshifts into a creature. The object must be neither worn nor carried. The transformation lasts for the duration or until the target dies or is destroyed. But if you maintain concentration on the spell for the full duration, the spell lasts until dispelled. An unwilling creature can make a wisdom saving throw, and if it succeeds, it isn't affected. Creatures into creatures. If you turn a creature into another kind of creature, the new form can be any kind you choose that has a challenge rating equal to or less than the target's challenge rating or level. The target's game statistics are replaced by the stats. Target gains a number of temporary hit points, which doesn't matter. Target is limited in the actions it can perform by the anatomy of the new form, and it can't speak or cast spells. The target. Okay, so we're going to allow that in because it's a good way to shut down spellcasters until they can overcome it. I think that's fine. Time stop. Going to allow it. Storm of Vengeance. Does it do anything? Deafened condition? I don't think. Yeah. Acid rainfalls, object, cloud kill, acid damage is irrelevant. Dexterity saving throw, lightning damage, irrelevant. Hailstones, bludgeoning damage is irrelevant. Gusts and freeze of rain, area of this creature takes cold damage and creates difficult terrain, which is useful, and heavily obscured is also useful. Ranged attacks with weapons are impossible here. And strong blows within the area. Okay, so ranged attacks with weapons are impossible there. So attempting to score a goal is taking the mascot ball and throwing it at the goal. And if you hit, you score a point. Or if you hit and deal damage, you score a point. So there's options that exist inside the game to reduce damage to 0. And of course, deflect attacks to prevent you from hitting. So if you can't hit the goal, you can't score a point. If you do hit the goal, but all the damage is reduced to 0, you also don't score a point. It doesn't count. So I'm thinking the problem is then that range area is 1 mile. So we have to ban Storm of Vengeance because it prevents us from playing the game. It's going to encompass the entire arena. And ranged attacks with weapons are impossible, so we have to ban Storm of Vengeance. Shape change is already fine. Prismatic Wall. Okay, so let's see how this does. A shimmering multicolored plane of flight force, opaque, 90 feet long, 30 feet high, 1 inch thick, centered on the point, within range. Alternative, it's 30 feet high, which doesn't prevent flight. 90 feet long, which doesn't cover the full battlefield. Our full arena is 120 feet wide, and we've already noted in here that from the ground, you can fly up to 40 feet high above the arena. That's still within bounds of the arena. So I didn't consider that. You can actually use the ball to attack and hit flying targets, and if you've picked up the Topple Mastery, you would actually be able to knock people out of the sky. They won't take any damage. They automatically just feather fall down, so they don't take any damage. But you would be able to remove you'd be able to knock people out of the sky that way. That's interesting. Prismatic wall. Alternatively, you shape the wall into a globe up to 30 feet in diameter, centered on a point within range. The wall lasts for the duration. If you position the wall in a space occupied by a creature, the spell ends instantly without effect. The wall sheds bright light, 100 feet, dim light, designated. And to cast spell near the wall to harm. If another creature you can see. The wall moves within 20 feet of it or starts its turn there. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or be blinded for 1 minute. The wall consists of 7 layers. Each with a different color. When a creature reaches into or passes through the wall, it does so 1 layer at a time through all the layers. The wall, which has AC 10, can be destroyed 1 layer at a time in order of blah. The layer is destroyed, it is gone for the duration. Any magic field has no effect on the wall, and dispel magic can only affect the violet layer. So let's see what it does. Failed save, no damage. So we're not going to take any damage for going through the fire, because we're eliminating taking damage as the conditions of playing the game. So additional effects: non-magical ranged attacks can't pass through this layer, which is destroyed if it takes at least 25 cold damage. The ball can't take damage, so we don't have to worry about that. And there's nothing that prevents you from passing through it. So I guess I'm okay with that. Successful save. Let's see. Which is destroyed by. Which is destroyed if it takes. Oh, okay. So the wall is destroyed by taking cold damage. Destroyed with a strong wind. There's gust of wind, but we don't take any damage. Magical ranged attacks can't pass through this layer, so we have to physically walk through the orange layer to be able to make attacks. But nothing prevents us from being able to do that. Yellow, pass through. Destroyed, force damage. It's just lightning damage that doesn't do anything to us. Passable spell, another. It's just damage, no effect. Blue, cold damage, no effect. Indigo. It's restrained. It makes a Constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns. So the indigo layer is the first layer that actually we have to pass through to make a ranged attack, but doing so hits indigo, which could restrain us if it successfully saves 3 times. The condition ends. Condition and make a Constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns. If it successfully saves 3 times, the condition ends. If it fails 3 times, it has the restrained. It has the petrified condition, which prevents you from playing. Okay, I think we're gonna ban this one because it's mostly damage. It prevents you. It takes you out for 3 rounds. So we generally have things that end. If we have a caveat in here that conditions end after. Timing effects that prevent an athlete from playing automatically end at the end of its turn, such as paralysis, banish, etc., such as paralyze, petrification, banish, etc., but not confusion. All ongoing effects end when a point is scored and at the end of the period. If the effect requires concentration, you must instead make a Constitution saving throw. When a point is scored, to maintain concentration on the effects, the DC is 15, or the concentration DC, whichever is higher, and the effects are automatically dismissed at the end of a period. Athletes take 1 short rest after first and second period, and a long rest. Well, there is an argument to be said that dealing damage to a spellcaster would potentially disrupt their concentration, which would be a benefit, except we don't want damage to be lethal. And conditions end, including dead, end at the all ongoing effects end when a point is scored. But I don't want you just fireballing the field to kill everyone and then just walk through and score a lazy point. That doesn't feel good either. I think I'm just going to go ahead and we'll just go ahead and ban Prismatic Wall. That's probably just the easier solution. I think when in doubt, let's just be on the side of negative. Prismatic Wall. If it's not a hell yeah, let's say it's a hell no. Hey, Drunken, you thinking of making a spell reflection mechanic? No. Power word kill has no place here. We have hex proof, which prevents you from being targeted by things. Power word heal. There's no real reason to have power word heal other than it can remove condition effects. So I guess that works. We'll keep it. Meteor swarm. There's no reason for us to have meteor swarm in Mage Tower. Weird is fine because it causes fear. I'm okay with that. You're not going to take any damage, but I don't mind that fear effect clicking in. It's a waste of a 9th level spell to do it because it's not doing any damage. Like I think a lot of lower level spells are going to make a lot more sense. And this sort of thing, imprisonment, absolutely not. Gate, no. Foresight's fine. Astral projection, no. Foresight's fine. Astral projection, no. 8th level spells, tsunami. A wall of water springs into existence at a point you choose within range. You make a wall up to 300 feet long, 300 feet high, and 50 feet thick. The wall lasts for the duration. When the wall appears, each creature in its areas make a strength saving throw, taking irrelevant damage. Fail for save for half, who cares? At the start of each of your turns, after the wall appears, the wall, along with any creatures in it, move 50 feet away from you. Any huge or smaller creatures inside the wall to whom space the wall enters when it moves must succeed a strength save or take irrelevant damage. A creature takes the amount of takes this damage only once per round. At the end of the turn, the wall's height is reduced by 50 feet, and the damage of the wall deals on later rounds is reduced. So basically, Tsunami could slam through the battle, could slam through the arena. Here's our arena. It's 210 feet. So if I drop the Tsunami here at the edge of our tower, and just let it flow downward, it'll basically push everybody to the far end of the field that they then now have to proceed through. So it'd be a good way to push the opponent back, I guess. The damage would be taxed. I think I'll leave it. It's a ridiculous power spell, but let's leave it in place. I don't see a reason for it being broken yet. Telepathy, that's fine. Sunburst, blinded condition is going to end at the end of do we have a round or at the end of a turn? Let's see, timing. Effects that prevent an athlete from playing automatically end at the end of their turn, as though they, basically as though they had automatically succeeded the saving throw. So you can take away somebody's turn with an effect, but you can't. Effects that prevent an athlete from playing automatically end at the end of the turn. Let's see. Effects that prevent an athlete from taking actions. How about that? From taking actions. End at the end of their turn. Automatically end. Automatically end at the end of their actions are automatically dismissed at the end of their turns. Let's see. You can hold an enemy mascot until banned spells, feats, and powers. Let's look at characters. Athletes, 2 to 5 per team. Cannot take damage, but can be targeted by effects to reduce their options. Let's see. Damage taken can affect concentration, but don't reduce your HP total. Can affect concentration and impart conditions, but don't reduce your hit point total. There we go. That's, I think, probably the best way to put it. No equipment, armor. No equipment, weapon, armor. Can't have material spell components, focus, and component pouch. All characters that are proficient with shields are considered equipped. for use with feats, spells, and abilities that require having one equipped. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So, like weird, having weird in there deals psychic damage each round. That could fuck up your concentration if you're maintaining it. So, that sounds valid. Right, cool. Let's get back into it. Sunburst. So we're looking at blinded, 60-foot radius. Creature blinded by a spell, you automatically succeed at the end of your turn, so that's fine. Powered stun, they'll automatically succeed at the end of their turn, but otherwise it works fine. Mind blank, until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is immunity to psychic damage and charm condition, which is useful because, like, weird. Maze, how does that work? You banish a creature that you can see within range into a labyrinthine demi-plane. The target remains there for the duration or until it escapes the maze. It automatically escapes the maze at the end of its turn. The target can study actions, try to escape sooner, and when it does so, it makes an intelligence saving throw or a intelligence check. When the spell ends, the target reappears in the space that it left, if that space is occupied, or the nearest unoccupied space. That's fine. Incendiary cloud, a swirling cloud of embers, smoke, sphere, power, position is heavily... Okay, the cloud area is heavily obscured, so you're basically blinded while you're inside of it, which doesn't prevent you from making a shot, because you know the direction of the goal, so you can still make an attack. It's just going to be at disadvantage because you're blinded. When a cloud appears, creatures make a dexterity save. Failed save. Success. The creature must also make a save when the sphere moves into its space or when it enters the space or ends its turn inside there. So that could trigger concentration, so I'm fine with that. Holy Aura, duration, 30-foot emanation. Aura chooses advantage on all saving throws, and other creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against them. In addition, when a fiend or undead hits an affected creature with a melee attack roll, the attack must succeed on a constitution. Okay, so if we're allowing spell effects to deal damage to damage people's concentration, we would be able to actually hit people to try to disrupt their concentration as well. All creatures are proficient in unarmed attacks. If you're making an attack roll and you're using a martial character, you're going to be able to ramp that with a strike power. That is useful for breaking concentration. So I'm okay with that. Holy Aura, great. Glibness, irrelevant, but there's nothing wrong with it. Earthquake, choose a point. What's the size of this? A 500. So the entire battle, the entire arena. Choose a point of the ground that you can see for the duration and an intense tremor. What's the duration? 1 minute if you can maintain concentration. You can't. Okay, so if you get hit with this earthquake spell, you're going to be inside the earthquake spell yourself, and it's going to cause issues in terrain. Fissures open in the spell's area at the end of the turn. You cast it, you choose the fissures locations, which can't be under structures. Each fissure is 1d10 times 10 feet deep and 10 feet wide, and it extends from one edge of the spell's range to another edge. So it's going to stretch the entire width or length of the battlefield. You can put 6 fissures down. You can't hit the mage towers because those are structures. Otherwise, the battlefield is open. 6 fissures, 10 feet wide each. God, what a fucking pain in the ass. Do we want to allow earthquake? Let's say no. Let's just say no because it's really annoying. It's too annoying. It makes playing the game difficult. So let's get rid of it. Dominate monster, that's fine. Demi-plane, no need for it. Control weather. Let's see. Determine you can change precipitation, temperature, blah. I'm not going to specifically ban it. It just doesn't do any good for you. Clone. I'm going to ban clone because you can't fucking cast it during. I mean, we don't technically need to ban it. Range touch. Casting time is 1 hour, so it's kind of irrelevant. But I don't feel like There's a need, like you're not going to cast clone during a match, so it's kind of irrelevant. It's a waste of space, but befuddlement. You blast the mind of a creature that you can see within range. The target makes an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes psychic damage and can't cast or take the magic action at the end of every 30 days. Okay, we're going to go ahead and ban befuddlement. I don't imagine us needing to use high octane level spells to do like fear. Like cause fear would be plenty instead of casting yeah. But I digress. Antipathy, sympathy. Choose which target creature. That specific kind of creature, such as you cast a spell, choose whether it creates antipathy or sympathy. Target one creature or object that is huge or smaller. And then specify a kind of creature such as red dragons, goblins, vampires. A creature of the chosen kind makes a wisdom saving throw when it comes within 120 feet of the target. And you choose of your choice of antipathy and sympathy determines what happens. So antipathy. The creature has the frightened condition. Such as a kind of creature, such as people. Must use its movement on its turn to get as far away as possible. Sympathy. Creature's charm condition. The charm creature must use its movement on its turn to get as close as possible to the target, moving by the safest route. Okay, so I could see, like, if you're using Witherbloom, Witherbloom's pest is it's vermin. So if I were to hit you with antipathy and then make you antipathic towards vermin, you are not going to want to pick up the ball. You can't pick up the ball. So you would then have to be on defense against your enemies until it fades. But it's not restricting your movement. It's technically not restricting your activity. So it could be maintained. Oh, duration is 10 days. God, it's clever. But okay, let's consult our rules. Cannot force a creature to exit the arena. Are allowed, but the damage is reduced to 0. If an effect requires concentration, sure. Effects that prevent an athlete from taking actions are automatically dismissed at the end of their turn, such as paralyze, petrification, banish, stun, etc. Yeah, from taking actions. Like restrained technically doesn't prevent you from taking actions, it just prevents you from moving, but you can teleport while you're restrained, so that would be safe. Okay, we're gonna let that stand. We're gonna let antipathy stay, because even if you can't approach the ball, you could still defend against the opponent's ball. Anti-magic field, that's fine. Animal shapes, that's also fine. Teleport, we're banning teleport is allowed, but you can only teleport within the confines of the arena, but it is allowed. Symbol, create a harmful symbol either on a surface or within an object. Casting time is 1 minute. It takes too long to cast anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The glyph is nearly imperceptible. Requires a successful. Hold on. Okay, now I'm thinking about Wish. If you were to use Wish to duplicate a spell effect, oh no, because the spell has to have. If I'm not mistaken, Wish requires you to cast a spell that has a casting action of 1 action, if I'm not mistaken. Let's double check that. Because that solves itself, but that might not necessarily be the case. Let's see. Wish is the mightiest spell. The basic use of the spell is to duplicate any other spell of level 8 or below. If you use it this way, you don't need to meet the material components to cast that spell, including costing components. The spell simply takes effects. Alternatively, you can create one of the following effects. Wish is the mightiest spell. 1 action. It doesn't seem to have a restriction on that. So I guess that means we do need to restrict things. I don't technically... Like Clone. You could instantly cast Clone with a Wish spell. Do I have a problem with that? Kind of? Okay, so knowing that we can cast Wish, and that Wish can cast anything as an action, we do kind of have to take that under consideration. So let's push back again. Let's double check real quick. So yeah, we do need to ban. Okay, imprisonment is banned. Gate is banned. Astral projection is banned. Tsunami needs to be banned. Telepathy is fine. Sunburst is fine. Stun is fine. Mindbang is fine. Maze is fine. Goodness, Earthquake is banned. Clone is banned. Befuddlement is banned. Okay, so far so good. Go back to 7th. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with teleport. Okay, so we were at symbol. So let's look at symbol again. So you decide what triggers a glyph when you cast a spell. For glyph inscribed on the surface, common triggers include touching or stepping on the sigil. You can also take. Okay, great. So if you want to blow your wish on casting symbol to set up a ward at the base of your pyramid that say causes fear or I'm fine with this. I'm fine with symbol getting through the door. Simulacrum, no. I think we want to avoid effects that add creatures and action economy to the battlefield. That's basically you cheating extra characters into your team, and we want to avoid that. Let's see, Simulacrum, Sequester. How does this work? Touch, you magically sequester an object or a willing creature for the duration the target is invisible and can't be targeted by divination spells, detected by magic, or viewed remotely with magic. If the target is a creature, it enters a state of suspended animation. Okay, so Sequester equals no. Reverse gravity. 50-foot radius, 100 feet high. 50-foot radius, 100 feet high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So roughly half this area, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or basically the entire pyramid and the normal range of attack. How long does it last? 1 minute. Concentration. A creature can make a dexterity saving throw to grab a fixed object it can reach, thus avoiding the fall upward. If a ceiling or an anchored object is encountered on the upward fall, strike it just as they would during a downward fall. If an affected creature or object reaches the cylinder's top without striking anything that hovers there for the duration, when the spell ends. Boy, this wouldn't affect things that can fly, but most targets can't necessarily. I'm gonna ban it. I think reverse gravity. I think it should be banned. That seems appropriate. Resurrection, that's fine. Regenerate, whatever. Project image, that's fine. Prismatic spray. Each creature in the cone makes a dex save. Roll 1d8 to determine which ray affects it, consulting the prismatic spray. Damage irrelevant, except for potentially disrupting concentration. Restrained. Will automatically break free at the end of their turn. And it would automatically break free at the end of its turn. That's fine. Prismatic. We got rid of prismatic. Could we keep prismatic wall? Yeah, we can keep prismatic wall because it doesn't actually prevent you from playing. You get restrained, but then the restrained condition ends automatically at the end of the turn. Or rather, if you failed 3 turns, you would not be paralyzed, and you would not be petrified. It would automatically end the effect because you're no longer restrained. You become petrified instead, and petrification gets nullified. So that would actually track. So we can keep that. Great, good conversation. Power word fortify, sure. Plane shift, no. Wait. You know, up to 8 willing creatures who link hands in a circle are transported to a different plane of existence. Alternatively, or take you to a teleportation circle. Yeah, so plane shift is no. Sword, that's fine. Magnificent Mansion is a no. Mirage Arcana. Make terrain in an area look, smell, feel different. Open fields or roads. Similarly, you can alter the appearance of a structure or add them when none is present. The spell doesn't disguise, conceal, or add creatures. The illusion creates audible, visual, tactile, and olfactory elements, so it can turn clear ground into difficult ground or vice versa, or otherwise impede movement through an area. Any piece of illusionary terrain, such as rocks or sticks, that is removed in the spell's area, disappears immediately. Creatures with true sight can see through the illusion, so you can create difficult terrain with this, and otherwise it's just pretty. So I don't have a reason to ban Mirage Arcana. Force Cage, I suspect that's going to be a no. An immovable, invisible, cube-shaped prison composed of magical force springs into existence around an area you choose, like, say, for example, the goal. The prison can be a cage or a solid box. A prison in the shape of a cage can be up to 20 feet on a side and is made of half-inch thick diameter bars spaced 1/2 inch apart. And the prison is the shape of a box. You get up to 10 feet on a side, creating a solid barrier that prevents any matter from passing through it and blocking any spells cast. You can cast a spell. Any creature that is completely inside the cage is trapped. Okay, yeah. So, Force Cage is a no. Firestorm's fine because it can disrupt concentration. Finger of Death has no business. Finger of Death. Constitution saving throw, necrotic damage, failed save, half as much. Humanoid killed by this spell rises as a zombie. It does deal damage which can disrupt concentration, but we already know it can't deal any actual damage. Meteor Swarm similarly. Power Word Kill. Finger of Death. Finger of Death just deals damage to disrupt concentration. Power Word Kill. Okay, let's leave him in. I'm gonna hold on. I just want to go. Let's go back. Let's go back and look again, just real quick. I want to allow spells in if I can. So I don't want to just say no because it deals damage, because damage can disrupt concentration. That's legit. Weird's okay. Let's go look again at Storm of Vengeance. Damage, saving throw, concentration effect, concentration effect, concentration effect, concentration effect. Difficult terrain. Okay, yeah, we can allow Storm of Vengeance. That's fine. If you want to maintain concentration on that, go for it, Chief. Power Word Kill. Let's go visit Power Word Kill again, see what it does. You compel one creature you can see within range to die. The target has 100 hit points or fewer, dies. Otherwise, it takes 12d12 psychic damage. Yeah, we're going to eliminate that just because it's weird. Meteor Swarm, though, is probably going to be okay, actually. Each creature in a 40-foot radius in a 4 different points, 4 different 40-foot radius points. You're not going to take any damage, but you do have to make a concentration check. For taking saving throw damage. There we go. Okay, so Meteor Swarm's actually okay. Imprisont's still a no. Great, this is a nice tight list. This should be a tight list. I don't want it to be sprawling. Hey, timely timer. Etherealness, how does that work? Okay, Etherealness is a no. Divine Word is probably fine. Each creature of your choice in range makes a charisma saving throw on a failed save. A target it has 50 hit points or less suffers an effect based on the current hit point total shown in the Divine table. Dies. Okay, well, that's not cool. Blinded, deaf, and stunned. Alright, we're going to ban Divine Word. Because it just kills you, and that's something we shouldn't allow. Delay Blast Fireball. Yeah, it will. Damn it. Delay Blast Fireball. Yeah, it will. Then condenses at a chosen point within range of the ball. Glowing bead. When the spell ends, the bead explodes in each creature in a 20-foot radius. The ball, the creature, the bead explodes from noble objects. Okay, I'm fine with that. Conjure Celestial is a no. A Conjure Spirit from the upper planes, which manifests as a pillar of light. No, that's okay. Conjure Elemental is fine. Word of Recall to a previously designated sanctuary. Word of Recall. Windwalk is fine. Wall of Thorns. Okay, so can it be traversed? You create a wall of tangled brush bristling with needle-sharp thorns. The wall appears within range of a solid object and lasts for the duration. You choose to make the wall up to 60 feet long, 10 feet. You can choose to make the wall up to 60 feet long, 10 feet high, 5 feet thick, or a circle that has a 20-foot diameter and is up to 20 feet high and 5 feet thick. The wall blocks line of sight. When the wall appears, each creature in its area makes a dexterity saving throw, taking damage. But that's not going to matter. You can climb it. You're not going to take any damage because that's how the game works. Can move through a wall, albeit slowly and painfully, for every foot. Must spend 4 feet of movement. Furthermore, the first time a creature enters the space of the turn ends there. Dexterity saving throw or takes damage, which can affect concentration. It doesn't actually prevent you from proceeding, so I'm fine with that. Wall of ice. You create a wall of ice, solid surface, form a hemisphere, dome, globe with a radius up to 10 feet. You can shape a flat surface made of 10-foot square panels. Each panel must be contiguous with another panel in any form. The wall is 1 foot thick and lasts for duration. If the wall cuts through a creature's space when it appears the creature is pushed to one side of the wall, you choose which side. Makes a dexterity saving throw, takes cold damage. Wall's object can be damaged and thus breached. Creature moves through the sheet of frigid air on the first time in a turn. Using higher level spell slots, deals, increases. 10-foot square panels. Or globe. Has 12 AC 12, 30 hit points. Okay. So, we'll go like this. We'll go wall of ice, no dome or sphere. Panels are okay. Because you could make like you could, if you wanted to, using this, you get what do you get? You get 10-foot square panels. So if I were to cast wall of ice, 1 foot thick, great. So like I could do like, here's one panel, here's another panel, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now that you have this wall of ice that's there, if I'm coming in, I'm either going to have to climb over the wall, or I'm going to have to go around the wall to be able to take my shot at the goal. I think I'm okay with that. Walls are fine. They don't, but like the sphere or the globe that would encapsulate and prevent me from taking shots at the goal, that's not okay. That's the only problem I have, is things that prevent you from taking shots and things that make people go away. Or things that add more allies to the battlefield than is already there. That's generally what we're trying to prevent. So wall of ice, super cool. True Scene, that's fine. Transport via plant, sure, why not? Bubbling Cauldron. You conjure a claw-footed cauldron. I mean, yeah, I guess you could just create a cauldron anywhere on the battlefield if you wanted to go dip in for potions. I don't technically have a problem with that. Sunbeam, that's fine. Summon Fiend. You call forth the Fiendish Spirit. It manifests in an unoccupied space that you can see within range and uses the Fiendish Spirit stat block. So, yes, Summon Fiend is not allowed. Programmed Illusion, that's fine. Planar Ally is going to be a no. This entity sends a celestial demon or loyal to you. Yeah. So, Planar Ally is banned because it adds bodies to the battlefield. Dance is fine. Oh, looks freezing sphere. A frigid globe streaks to you. That's fine. Move earth. Choose an area of terrain no larger than 40 feet on a side within range. You can reshape the dirt, sand, or clay in any manner you choose. For the duration, you can raise or lower the areas of elevation. Create or fill a trench. Erect or flatten a wall. Form a pillar. Can't exceed half the area's largest dimension. For example, if you affect a 40-foot square, you can create a pillar up to 20 feet tall. Raise or lower the square's elevation by up to 20 feet. Dig a trench. At the end of every 10 minutes, you spend concentrating on the spell. You can choose a new area of terrain. I'm fine with that. Mass suggestion, that's fine. Magic jar. Your body falls. Yeah, no. Magic jars, no. How are we doing on time? Almost there. Stay on target. Here's feast. That irrelevant, but that's fine. Guards and wards, interesting. And again, it's a 1 hour casting time, but if we're using wish, you could immediately trigger guards and wards as an action and then afflict the area. So, is that okay? 2,500 square feet of floor space. The ward area can be up to 20 feet tall, and you shape it as 150. Shape it as 150-foot square, 150-foot squares that are contiguous, or 25 10-foot squares that are contiguous. When you cast this spell, you can specify individually 20 feet tall that are unaffected by spells. You can specify your team be unaffected. You can also specify a password. The spell creates the effects below within the wording condition. The spell magic has no effects on it, but each of the following effects can be dispelled individually. If all 4 are dispelled, the ward ends. If you cast a spell every day, who cares? Corridors. Fog fills all warded corridors, making them heavily obscured. There are no corridors. Doors. There are no doors. Stairs. There are no stairs. Other effects. Place one of the following magical effects within the worded area. Dancing lights, magic mouth, stinking cloud. That's fine. Gust of wind is fine. Okay, that's most of the spell is worthless, but I'm not going to ban it. Globe of invulnerability. An immobile shimmering barrier appears in a 10-foot emanation around you and remains for the duration. Any spell level 5 or lower from outside the barrier can't affect anything within. So the spell can target creatures and objects within the barrier. I don't have a reason to say no to this. Forbiddance. You create a ward against magical travel that protects up to 40,000 squares worth of feet to a height of 30 feet tall for the duration. Can't teleport into the area or use portals, such as those created by the gate spell to enter the area. The spell proofs the area against planar travel and therefore prevents creatures from accessing areas by ways of blah blah blah. In addition, the spell damages types of creatures that you choose when you cast it. Choose one or more of the following. And the creature choose type enters the spell's area for the first time in turn. When it ends its turn there, it takes a lot of damage. You can designate a password. The spell's area can't overlap with another area, an area of another forbidden spell. Creatures can't teleport into the area. Oh, so if you're in the area and you try to cast the teleport into the area again, it would not work. So I'm going to allow forbiddance. It just shuts down teleportation magic, which is great. Flush the stone is a no. Wait. You can attempt to turn one creature you see within range in the stone. The target makes a Constitution saving throw on a fail. It's restrained. On a successful save, its speed is 0 until the end of the next turn. Constructs automatically succeed on the save. A restrained creature makes another Constitution saving throw at the end of its turn. If he succeeds the save against the spell 3 times, the creature ends. Otherwise, it becomes petrified, which would be immediately nullified. So at most, you'd be restrained for 3 turns, which sucks, but can be removed. Find the path, whatever. I bite. For the duration, your eyes become an inky void. One creature you can see, choose 30, 60 feet with some saving throw. You can take the magic action to target another creature, but can't target a creature again. It succeeds asleep. The target has unconscious condition. It wakes up if any damage or another creature takes an action and circuit awake. It will automatically wake up at the end of the next turn. The creature has a frightened condition. On each of its turns, the frightened target must take the dash action and move away from you by the safest, shortest route. If the creature moves to a space at least 60 feet away from you where it can't see you, the effect ends. Sickened. The target has the poison condition, which is totally fine. So I'd have to, at worst, like run to the other side of one of the towers so that I break line of sight in the effect. I could be afflicted again with it as a magic action, but they're gonna have to specifically target me to do so, and that doesn't prevent me from carrying my ball. So I could technically run around the back of the tower and still be able to make my shot. So this is just causing limitations on what I can do. Instant summons, to touch the sapphire, use cast a spell, object weight 10 pounds less. Describes the object's name, the sapphire. Each time you cast a spell, you must use a different sapphire. Thereafter, when you take the magic action to speak the object's name or crush the sapphire, appears in your hand regardless. Okay, you could use Wish to create the instant summon, ward your mascot with it, or the enemy's mascot, and then blip it. I'm good with that. That's actually really clever. Disintegrates just deals damage. A creature targeted by the spell makes a dexterity saving throw on a failed save, takes a shitload of damage. Revived. It won't kill you. On a failed save, it takes a lot of damage. The damage reduces at 0, and anything. Okay, well, it doesn't reduce your hit points to 0 because you don't reduce hit points with the system. Create undead is a no. Contingency is technically fine. Conjure Fey, immediate spirit, unoccupied space. The spirit lasts the duration. It looks like a Fey creature of your choice. When the spirit appears, make one melee spell attack against a creature within 5 feet of it. On the hit, the target takes psychic damage equal to blah. And the target has a frightened condition until the start of your next turn. As a bonus action, on later turns, you can teleport the spirit to an unoccupied space. So this isn't technically something that has action economy. It just makes an attack roll. It can't actually like shoot a ball or block anything. So conjure spells seem to be okay. Circle of Death, negative energy, ripples, 60-foot radius. Creatures in the area make con save, take damage. Okay, that's fine. Chain Lightning, also fine. Blade Barrier. You create a wall of whirling blades made of magical energy. The wall appears within range and lasts for the duration. You make a straight wall up to 100 feet long, 20 feet high, 5 feet thick. Ring wall up to 60 feet in diameter, 20 feet high. The wall provides 3/4 cover, and it spaces difficult terrain. Any creature in the wall's space makes a dexterity saving throw. A creature also makes the save if it enters the wall space or ends its turn there. It doesn't actually prevent you from proceeding. It just creates cover. And you won't take any damage for passing through it, but it is difficult terrain. So there's nothing wrong with that. Arcane Gate. You create a link teleportation portals. It shows 2 large unoccupied spaces on the ground that you can see. One space within range and the other one within 10 feet of you. A circular portal opens, 10 feet area. The portal is 2-dimensional, glowing ring. The portal is open on only one side. You choose which. Anything entering the open side of the portal exits from the open side of the portal. The two were adjacent to each other. As a bonus action, you can change the facing of the open sides. Magic action, pass through. Bonus action is left over. You have to have a bonus action that allows you to make an attack with a ranged weapon to make use of it. I open up an arcane ward, hand the ball to the fighter. The fighter goes through the gate, has the ball, takes the shot, potentially scores a point. Once you know that you have that trick, you have to plan for it accordingly with having a goalie on the back line. I'm going to allow it because I'm allowing all teleportation effects in general. I'm okay with it. And that takes us to 5th level and less. and I am out of time. That is my lunch shift. So I'm going to go ahead and cut stream for now. I'm going to be back on Monday. Monday morning, we're going to continue doing Eberron art. Monday night, we're going to come on. We're going to finish the spell list, and then we're going to dive into the list of powers and feats to see what are allowed or not. I don't think there's any reason for us not to allow the majority of feats, but we'll tool through them to make sure there's nothing wrong. But this is a fairly tight list. This isn't ridiculous. So I don't have a problem with hardly any of these. So it's just a matter of allowing people to play the game. And so we're yeah, I think we've described that enough. Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. I'm going to be back. Like I said, I'll be back on Monday. We'll continue working on this, and we're going to be doing playtesting for the martial powers system in our mega dungeon on my Discord channel. It's linked down below. We do that every Saturday morning. If we don't have at least 3 people playing, then we've been basically shorting the game. But with implementing Mage Tower rules, we can start actually having like 2v2 matches with the DM having 2 characters and then the players each having 1 character, so you can still have matches that way and test to see how fun that is. But as long as we have at least 3 people that are playing, we'll run the dungeon. Though you gotta understand how the martial power system works to be able to have a character ready to go to be able to play. But we're playtesting the hell out of this stuff to make sure it all makes sense before we actually build the book and publish it. Because when I build something new, I want to playtest the hell out of it to make sure that it works the way intended, so that I don't have to fix things after the fact, or eat crow and that there's a flaw that we didn't pick up on. So, but that's it for now. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you. Please like and subscribe to catch wind of this stuff in the future. We're always building something new. And weekday mornings, sometimes in the evenings, but weekday mornings, typically we're doing artwork for the books that we're going to publish. You can see all my books that are linked down below, my Discord down below. All the books have free previews. Be welcome to check that stuff out. If you have any questions, join my Discord and be welcome to ask. You're most invited. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks a lot. Cheers.